No one can cover the sun. The story of Joey. Joey was born with the sun in his chest. Not a metaphorical sun, not just hope or joy or laughter, but something deeper, older, and more dangerous. His mother said the moment he first cried, the lights in the hospital flickered and a nurse dropped her tray, eyes wide, whispering, "This one's too bright." And from then on, Joey lived with that brightness, a force he didn't understand. Only that people either loved him too much or hated him for no reason. It started when he was young. Teachers praised him, then ignored him. Friends circled him like moths, then turned cold the moment he laughed too freely or succeeded too well. He could never be invisible. He could never be just enough. Joey was always too much, too honest, too creative, too kind. He couldn't help it. There was something inside him that refused to dim, even when the world begged him to. By the time he was a teenager, the whispers had become a chorus. Who does he think he is? He tries too hard, thinks he's better than everyone. They came in the form of smirks, glances, cruel jokes made just low enough to feel like insects crawling under his skin. And he bore it, for years. Not because he was weak, but because he believed in something deeper. His mother used to say, "Don't let them make you afraid of your own light, Joey. You come from fire. Don't let ashes rewrite your name." But the world doesn't love light, not really. It loves shadows that perform like light. It loves control, and Joey could not be controlled. So they came for him, not with weapons, but with masks. At first, they were just faces, a few, familiar, people he once trusted. But they changed. Their expressions distorted, their eyes emptied. They grew fangs of sarcasm and claws of quiet dismissal. Then more came, hundreds, thousands, all shouting versions of the same lie. Dim yourself, dull yourself. You don't belong here. And it wasn't just words anymore. They started to build a wall around him, not of stone, but of expectation, of silence, of punishment for every time he dared to shine. Speak up? He was arrogant. Say nothing? He was weak. Succeed? He was full of himself. Fail? He proved them right. Joey was placed in a cage without bars. Every time he laughed too loud, a mask snarled. Every time he dreamed too boldly, a chain was added. And yet, he kept dreaming, kept laughing, kept walking forward. Because something inside him refused to kneel. The night it all changed, Joey was alone. He'd moved to a new city, far from the noise of his past, thinking maybe he could start again. Maybe this time he could live freely. But darkness doesn't live in places. It follows the light it wants to destroy. And they found him again, not as people, as voices, as shadows in his mind, as doubts etched into the walls of his apartment. He tried to write. The pen wouldn't move. He tried to speak. His voice cracked. He looked in the mirror and instead of his own face, he saw theirs. All of them, screaming, distorting, closing in. Joey fell to his knees, hands gripping his chest. The sun, his sun, was dimming. He felt it. That unbearable silence where once his fire had lived. And in that silence, a whisper came, soft, familiar. No one can cover the sun. He opened his eyes. The room was dark, but something shimmered at the edges. A hum, a pulse, not from outside, but from within. He stood, slowly, and something broke, not in him, around him. The mirrors shattered, the shadows recoiled, the screaming masks twisted as if scorched. A single light began to grow from his chest, slow but unstoppable, like dawn breaking through the longest night. He walked outside, barefoot, bare-chested, barefoot, glowing. The city stared, the sky seemed to pause. And then they came. Not just the people, the faces, thousands, screaming, gnashing, stretching from the ground to the heavens. The same distorted faces that had haunted his life. Cruel teachers, jealous friends, cowardly bosses, manipulative lovers, anonymous haters. They formed a cyclone around him, spiraling faces, wide-mouthed and wailing. A tunnel of fury. But Joey did not run. He did not fight. He stood. And the light in his chest flared like a star going supernova. They howled in pain, in rage. "You're too much. You think you're special. You're nothing without us." He spoke only once. "May the elements of the sun blind whosoever tries to steal my glory." And with that, he burned. Not into ash, but into truth. Joey became fire and form, radiant and untouchable. The screams turned to silence, the faces melted into smoke, the chains shattered like glass beneath a rising tide. He was not a boy anymore. He was not even a man. He was the sun, walking. A reminder to every soul that tried to make him forget. You can dim the room. You can spread your masks. You can howl until your throat splits. But you can't cover the sun. Years passed. People spoke of him like a legend. Some said he vanished into the sky. Others swore they saw him at protests, at vigils, at schools, anywhere someone stood trembling at the edge of who they were and who they might become. And always, when the moment came, when a soul threatened to dim for the comfort of others, a whisper would rise. No one can cover the sun. And fire would flicker in the chest of someone brave enough to rise. They will try to cover you too. They'll come with kindness sharp as razors, with advice meant to shrink you, with applause soaked in control. They'll hand you 1,000 masks and call them mirrors. But remember Joey. Remember the boy who burned through the scream. And when they circle you, when the faces howl, when the shadows whisper, when you feel your light shaking, stand. Don't speak for them. Don't bow to them. Speak for the sun in your chest and say it loud enough for every mask to hear. No one can cover the sun. Let that be your vow, your war cry, your birthright. Because glory is not something others give you. It's something you claim. And may the elements of the sun blind whosoever dares to take it from you. The end.